Putin Bad News Contributing writer Aaron Falbel, Understanding Russia's Concerns does not equate to appeasement. Several columns and letters have argued that offering Vladimir Putin concessions in exchange for ending the fighting in Ukraine is a losing strategy. Many people still believe that a non-military victory over Russia would give strong-armed dictators everywhere more power because of the legacy of Neville Chamberlain. The true situation is far more intricate. Those who are opposed to talks rarely consider NATO's part in escalating tensions. The United States, along with Britain, Germany, and France, repeatedly assured Gorbachev that NATO would not shift 1 inch eastward toward the Soviet Union if he would accept German reunification, despite what some have claimed. This is a proven historical fact supported by papers that were finally made public in 2017. This may be technically true, but many U.S. officials now argue that these guarantees were never formally documented as part of an international treaty. There is a term, however, for this sort of conduct. We have a name for this kind of behavior: duplicity. Russia has been very vocal in its displeasure with NATO's eastward expansion: Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland in 1999, Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia in 2004, Albania and Croatia in 2009, Montenegro in 2017, North Macedonia in 2020, and now Finland in 2023, despite the fact that each new member has been welcomed relatively quickly. What a waste! Not even an inch. What I'm about to say is not meant to defend Putin's bloody invasion of Ukraine. Such aggression against a sovereign state is illegal under international law and has no justification. However, I believe it is critical to differentiate between justification and explanation. Putin's aggressive actions, while still illegal, were not completely without provocation. The Russian people have long felt like they were duped by a bait and switch. A hypothetical situation in which Russia strikes a deal with Mexico to station missiles in that country close to the Texas border prompts the question: how would the United States react? And more importantly, how did we react in reality when the Soviet Union actually made such an arrangement with Cuba back in 1962? The Kennedy administration imposed a military quarantine on Cuba, and a nuclear war almost broke out as a result of the ensuing standoff, which, incidentally, was resolved through a secret negotiated settlement involving the withdrawal of U.S. missiles from Turkey and Italy. Would Russia have attacked Ukraine even if Putin had been given genuine guarantees, in writing this time, that the country would not join NATO? There is no way to find out. Maybe, then again, maybe not. It would have demonstrated, at the very least, that the West took Russia's security concerns seriously, as many diplomats have been urging the United States to do for decades. This would say a lot to the Russian people, if not to their government. Putin's primary piece of war propaganda would have been rendered useless. The point is that, in Putin's place, the United States would have acted exactly as it is now. War crimes committed by Putin in Ukraine are identical to those committed by the United States in Iraq, including the targeting of civilians, the bombing of schools, hospitals, apartment complexes, power plants, water treatment plants, and air raid shelters. We did these illegal things in self-defense against an imaginary threat posed by Iraq's weapons of mass destruction, which turned out to be non-existent. Putin says the Ukrainians are Nazis, but that is a lie. There is an old adage that goes something like, "The first casualty of war is the truth." Since it's highly unlikely that either side will surrender, the only way for this war to end is through negotiations, with the major countries settling territorial disputes rather than the United States or NATO. A peace treaty of this sort may be reached sooner or later, possibly after much more bloodshed. We should employ all the means at our disposal to hasten the arrival of peace. This is complicated by the fact that each side believes it can win the war. Peace would benefit both parties more in the long run than a protracted war would. However, the United States does not have a good record of avoiding protracted wars. There isn't much of a moral grounding for us to stand on. We have a lot of people to apologize to, as the people of Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan can testify.